Now Caitlin Clark on the floor here today, scoring in a season as Boston
and shooting it in the corner.
She and Stephanie Dolson, probably the most as two does Indiana.
Big deal for Indiana.
As well, at this point last year, it was expectations. Colson left alone. She championship in this building too with Texas. Offense, that means they don't hold the ball for more than a
offense. Both teams playing quick. Howard on the lob.
Here's Bonner. She'll take it herself. And
they've got to improve that mark and try. So she looks fantastic this year with the depth.
Mitchell, Wilson, she's a good three-point shooter. Percentage a year ago, he had some of the top three. Dot fake, got Enxler into the air.
Brittany Sykes from Washington before the game. Added weapon for sure.
Questionably one of the veterans here on a
is the speed with which
he's in minutes here coming off the bench. You can imagine.
That's going to be
Colson bouncing, Howard charging. And here is the 4th overall pick. Mitchell attacking Melbourne, gets to the rim. On back as Iriafin finds some space. Sutton.
I bet it's in the work.
Here for Indiana for the first time. Corner here, Iriafin off the. This Indiana offense, a fever team, it's especially important to be built here as Mitchell fire away.
Fantastic working without the ball. That's a
season in fever scoring. Craft, those players trying to make this rock.
Really good defender.
Great years in Greece. Iriafin Carline
keeps her focus on the
teammate Sonia Citron, one of the most productive players in all of college basketball. Athleticism-driven WNBA game. Oh, the hesitation and Pacers employ that strategy. Rectal lines up.
If we start seeing a lot of that in the league.
Bounce pass, Citron, pretty runs. Bonner crossing over. Here is Dewana Bonner heading to the free throw rate. I think when Bonner was
a lot at the 3 spot. I think we're going to see her winning 2 WNBA. Lace them up. Why?
I can't play with them tight.
That's one. We're going to keep track all year.
Tenacious defender. Citron hands in Iowa City tomorrow, and as a cutting it, Cole's going to have to get it up. She just for a kickball to be very conservative with her. I'd say probably closer to 10. Be careful as Cunningham is left alone.
Basketballer.
Might have gotten away with a foul there on Hull.
Listen, you got to get up the court.
Start the second quarter, couple of deflections. How well she is playing when most.
It's a player that's
weaving through traffic. Bonner extra pass. 7 points, a couple of rebounds in 8 minutes. The Boston Shield attacker and
such a good finisher.
Caitlin Clark. So there's the double team, steps through, fires. Howard now puts on the break, wheeling inside. Howard trying to use her size. That's the 3, gets right to the rim.
Has actually tried to been getting her to what they were trying to do, and she's been told
had an option as far as that here in that first preseason game. All of her different
did a really good job of getting over the team.
And will she get it off in time? She will.
I feel like the talk around this week, you can outscore all the teams. You got to be on your defensive end.
Here's Howard.
Which was #1 in defensive player, and to be able to.
Strong there from Olsen.
We're actually going to have the officiating in the league.
Defensive-minded coach Stephanie White in
ball screen, but you got to know personnel.
Lucy Olsen and Kelsey Mitchell, that free throw shooter a year ago. Vice versa, Kelsey helping out. There's Olsen spinning away, flip she on 2, hole right up the middle. She'll take it. The rule, and so couldn't handle it. Here's Cunningham. Well, there are some players who.
The floor is going to be much different for Sophie this year.
Caitlin Clark getting these fans on her feet. Doesn't matter if it's preseason practice. Off Mitchell, step back. Cunningham, coast to coast.
What?
Not 17. In regular season form as Howard stepping back, using that. Wilson launches. Melbourne leaks out. High arcing. Howard backdoor. Hole gets inside.
Impressive.
Here is Mitchell. Washington. That one behind Melbourne. And bounces Howard the left hand.
A numbers advantage.
Okay. She averaged 18 points.
Can change the rhythm. That gives you a.
That's because the whistle of our preseason opener. In the first quarter, and now Bonner to the.
Was not in the act of shooting. Stops. Their pick and roll game is trying to.
Final minute. All of the shot clock down to 5. A 2-man game. Here's Enxler, corner 3. Talk about plays and situation. De facto last shot, and instead the Fever leaves it for Sutton, who's wide open. She get it off in time. They'll say no. We talked about that experience number from here. Mitchell did not hit a shot in the back within two. Here's Citron cutting.
Pressure her. And it'll
That third overall pick.
stuff right here. High ball screens.
Post spinning on Enksler. Howard the right hand. 11. Sykes the leading scorer on the night. Rookie extra pass. Enksler is open. Percent from the field. They've got this. Sykes feed in. Post Olsen and a third foul. 2 on the afternoon. Citron turns the corner. Hot. Cross-court pass. Here is the rookie. Dial. He didn't get to do what she's capable. Mitchell extra pass. Bonner corner. Enksler left alone.
18 coaches in the league.
Opposite for Boston on a fake. Boston 100% ready for the beginning of this. Recto, good position. Shots the rookie. Area Finn. Howard floats it. Unlocked tomorrow at Iowa.
Moves pretty well. Boston was the one that
Through the third, the Mystics holding on to it. Here is Boston. Just got around. Washington, Melbourne, pretty spin. Gets to the rim.
just kept it very simple defensively.
So here is Ashton Prechtel to the line. It's in kind of size up.
Back up for Stephanie Dolson.
Handoff Mitchell, bullseye. Here is Olsen on Melbourne, the inbounder, got it back, set up an extra pass, corner three. Olsen and Bonner. Since that Boston 3 to a double team, Cunningham fakes the pass.
Pass took too long to get there. Fever.
Cunningham, here it's not a shooting foul, so on Enksler, Bonner hangs, Bonner. 5 here from the line today to finish her career as Enksler left alone, and Cunningham looking inside for Boston. She and Dolson. Sykes, corner three, missed to stick with her. Boston shot fakes the Boston, looking back door and got it to
Talk about how good her IQ was on the back.
feet inside, 2 beautiful pass. Replay review. Sykes launches and missing. Hole will launch. And
Tag for Sykes.
caution. She is dealing with president. The WNBA assist for the officiating.
Yeah, that's a reason. And those points of it and the officiating, was traveling, contact for the game, and often
Off-season that you're
absolutely.
concentrating on.
After the Final Four, really, we have 2 training tournament, and we did classroom training event. They're just tighten that up and get more efficient.
Sizzle here in front of the Gamebridge field.
Session. Limitations that get looked at.
What you can see on a replay.
That's a play. Every call, every no call. Focus on is really training
Hustle to look like you're not working. Is it somebody back?
our team, and they train them. We're really looking for,
Pat, I just have one more question for Sue. The most important thing about the freedom of movement.
And we don't want to allow players to get when we make a foul.
Here helping educate us on some of the areas. Of luck to your group here as we get started.
That you just popped up here in the booth. They're right.
Citron corner through.
On the same side, look at Boston with a little passing skills on display here in the fourth.
As well. Hole carving out for Stephanie White. Out of Australia at the Olympics last year. Mitchell. Shot clock down to 5. Mitchell into the second half. Iriafin over Boston.
Stephanie White puts them in now when it's
2 on Egypt. Putting on the moves. Ducks.
How locked into
Mitchell on the drive. Aggressive attack. That she was there. And
I've been able to watch her 4-year development.
this Fever roster. Of course, Howard, if in with the size advantage, goes to work. Well, came over from
Today as well.
Here is
Digging deeper into their bench.
floor here for Washington. Tam gets inside, sets up Hall. Pass. It was Green who gets to the foul line, bounces inside. Prechtel launches. Got clock down to the steal. Prechtel corner 3.
Open look, but you got to get on.
And team struggling. They've been called for just 2 here in the fourth quarter. To her. Here's Hole right up the gut.
Certainly her range is impressive.
As well.
Congratulations. But there's also an understanding, pleased though, with their effort.
Shot it well from the floor, but they certainly. Lacey on the shot fake, fires up.
12 seconds back.
Knight finds the Iowa star Olsen. Well, we're expecting excitement and points in her first preseason game. That third overall pick.
To their offensive bag, just running some simple stuff right here. High ball screens.
Sees two. A repost, spinning on Enksler. Howard, the right hand. We're now into double figures. She's got 11. Sykes, the leading scorer on the night. Now Washington has numbers. Here is the rookie. Extra pass. Enksler is open from out there. The Fever are shooting 29% from the field. But they've got this. Sykes feed in.
Don't throw that pass in there. That foul doesn't get called.
Sykes, the switch on to Boston. They're trying to repost Olsen, and a third foul. Two of them here. Mitchell has 2 on the afternoon. Tron turns the corner. Sutton, Enksler, cross-court pass. Here is the rookie. Dial at Notre Dame. Maybe statistically didn't get to do what she's capable. Boston handoff. Mitchell extra pass. Bonner corner. Sykes attacking. Enksler left alone.
As in the 18 coaches in the league.
Mitchell turning the corner. The hesitation drops it for Boston on a fake. Boston, good start last year. Maybe wasn't 100% ready for the beginning of this.
Indiana switcher 1 through 5 right now.
Recto, good position. Shot up Howard. Howard going against the rookie. Area Finn. Howard floats it. We see that unlocked tomorrow at Iowa.
She's played some good minutes with her 6'5" form. Moves pretty well. Washington, it looked like Boston was the one that
picks. Got 4 fouls midway through the third. The Mystics holding on to it. This one, Aaliyah Boston hit that early 3. Here is Boston, just got around.
If you do take a gamble.
Sutton, the only starter on the floor for Washington. Melvin, pretty spin, gets to the rim.
You know, Stephanie White has kept it very simple defensively.
So here is Ashton Prechtel to the line. WNBA regular season minutes, and kind of size up roster spots.
I think Prechtel's a good backup for Stephanie Dolson.
Boston, handoff Mitchell, bullseye. Here is Olsen on. Melvin, the inbounder, got it back, set up Bonner. Bonner gets inside. Boston, extra pass, corner 3. He on a 16-year pro. Olsen and Bonner. Indiana now looking to take their first lead since that Boston 3-0. Boston driving into a double team. Cunningham fakes the pass. Melvin, she comes up with a turnover.
Pass took too long to get there. Really setting the tone for the Fever.
Cunningham, it is the 3rd foul on Washington. It's not a shooting foul, so Bonner, shot fakes the 3, driving on Enksler. Bonner hangs, Bonner
playing the 3 spot, and you have to defend her.
And she's 5 of 5 here from the line today. She wants to finish her career as Enksler left alone, and she up by 2. Cunningham looking inside for Boston. She and Dolson. Sykes, corner 3, missed rotation. Defense there by Sutton to stick with her. Boston shot fakes the. Boston looking backdoor and got it to cut.
I remember how Dawn Stanley used to talk about how good her IQ was on the back.
Brown able to wrestle that one away. Feet inside, 2 beautiful pass. Up by 1 now, thanks to that replay review. Here of the 3rd quarter. Sykes launches and misses. Turned it over on their last possession. Hole will launch. And
Dolson setting a really nice drag for Sykes.
Here today, that is out of an abundance of caution. She is dealing with us. We're thrilled to be joined by Associate Vice President of the WNBA. What are you looking at? What are your areas of emphasis for the officiator?
Yeah, that's a points of education for the season. And those points of basically our head coaches and general managers. And the officiating, you know, with movement, screening, traveling, contact, and then respect for the game. And offensive
games as well. What are some of the things in the offseason that you're concentrating on?
The NBA in right after the Final Four, really. We have 2 train down to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, and we did classroom, and then we just came off of a 4-day classroom training event. I mean, they're in video, they're trying to work on our replay, you know, just tighten that up and get more effective.
3 as she continues to sizzle here in front of the Gamebridge field.
After a successful challenge, if there's no possession, would there be other rules or sort of interpretations that, you know, get looked at?
In live action is going to be very different than what you can see on a replay.
I mean, that's a goals, right? So every play, every call, every no call, viewing team. So what we focus on is really training
and hustling to get there, and when not to hustle to look like you're not working. How, I mean, when you say analytics team, is it somebody back?
Goes through our games. They have a reviewer team, and they train them. They grade our officials. So we're really looking for, you know, to make the right call.
Pat, I just have one more question for Sue, because they're so skilled. What's the most important thing about the freedom of movement?
NBA, but we don't want to let it get rough, and we don't want to allow players to get in rhythm. Is sort of the guidelines for when we make a foul.
Well, Sue, we greatly appreciate you joining us here, helping educate us on some of the areas. We appreciate your insight, and best of luck to your group here as we get started. Sue's insights here.
How about that? She just popped up here in the booth and what they're looking at, because everybody wants them to get it right.
Citron corner through. Washington gets back nicely defensively.
Citron icing, keeping the ball on the same side. Look at Boston with a little Leah Boston, and we've seen her passing skills on display here in the fourth.
On Ejim has checked in, one of the rookies as well. Hull carving out some interesting grouping here on the floor for Stephanie White. So Jade Melvin, third-year guard, won bronze with Australia at the Olympics last year. Mitchell with a shot clock down to 5. Mitchell into knocked down 3 shots here in the second half. Iriafin over Boston. The Fever had.
Isn't it interesting that Stephanie White puts him in now when it plus the skill set?
Iriafin on Ejim, putting on the moves. Ducks
her team while she's on the bench, but the main takeaway has been how locked into
Kelsey, thank you. Here is Mitchell. Mitchell on the drive, aggressive attack. But we were genuinely surprised that she was there, and we set in a rim protector out of college.
I've been able to watch her 4-year development.
1,000 career rebounds, and 2 of them are on this Fever roster. Of course, Howard. So the switch on to Boston. Here's Iriafin with the size advantage, goes to work. Jalen Brown, who has just checked in as well, came over from.
And Noah Leah Edwards for Washington today as well.
Here is.
Both teams digging deeper into their bench.
And not a single starter on the floor here for Washington. 5-year-old rookie. Here's Cunningham, gets inside, sets up Hull. Indiana turns it over on the inbound pass. It was Green who come. Olsen, shot fakes the 3, gets to the foul line, bounces inside. Here's Olsen working on Hull. Prechtel launches. Got clock down to Cave, who has just checked in, comes up with the steal. Prechtel corner 3.
The other way, nobody stops the ball. It's a wide open look, but you got to get on.
For not having a veteran leader or 2, and team struggling. Your head coach in Sydney Johnson. That is Washington's foul to give. They've been called for just 2 here in the fourth quarter. Top Turner's pass knocked away, came right back to her. Here's Hull right up the gut.
Made herself better. Certainly her range is impressive. Hull.
Engaged, just got engaged a couple weeks ago as well.
Congratulations. There's a sense of urgency, but there's also an understanding. Washington's got to be pleased, though, with their effort. Figure some stuff out.
2 from the free throw line here today. They haven't shot it well from the floor, but they certainly. Lacey on the shot fake, fires up.
12 seconds back.
Okay. Knight on the floor as well. Tick away. Green with 5. Finds the Iowa Star Olsen. Preseason game of the year. Well, we're expecting excitement and Turn on NBA TV.